Who's Travis Matthews?
Travis Matthews is a brand, and it's great. I'm excited to be with them. They've mainly been in golf to this point. Bubba Watson, Master Champion, where is it? John Mallinger, Kevin Chappell, Luke List, a couple guys on the Nationwide Tour, but they're now going to get more into fitness and more. I don't want to say active sports than golf, but more a little more into the fitness realm, and that's why I'm excited to be a part of it right at the beginning. Bubba Watson got in right at the beginning, and obviously his career took off, and I'm excited to be a part of a company that is behind me, supporting me from the start, from sort of their inception into the fitness line, and I'm excited to be a part of it, and I think it's going to do really well. This stuff is unbelievable, so I'm happy about it.
Go ahead.
What does it feel like being back again here, back again winning?
It's a good feeling. Every time I come back here, it's still sort of the goosebumps feeling of walking out on Louis Armstrong or Arthur Ashe, and I'm just excited, and I get a lot of ticket requests, and then get to see my fans and my friends having a good time, and that definitely keeps my spirits up, keeps my head up throughout the whole match, and I can't believe that it's been, I think, 12 years I've been playing here just about every year, and it still doesn't feel normal. It's still an incredible feeling to be here and to be doing what I dreamed of as a kid.
You've had a lot of epic matches at night here in the record books and the length and all that. Right. What's the difference between day matches and night matches? What ratchets it up for you and for the crowd?
Well, during the day it's a little different because there's so much else going on. I mean, I like to, egotistically, I'd like to think everyone's coming out to watch me play on Louis Armstrong, but there's great matches going on in Ashe and Grandstand and all throughout the grounds. Night matches, everyone's there just to see the one match, so they want to see a good match. They don't want to come out and see, some pretty gritty and ugly tennis and just going through the motions or anyone not giving it their all. They're here just to see that match, and they may also be here for a night out where they're enjoying some cocktails, so they have a little more energy. They're pretty rowdy, and so you got to give them your best. They'll get on you if you're not giving them your best, and they'll appreciate you if you are giving them your best. And that to me is some of the most fun matches I've ever played is night matches here at the Open, because the crowd is really just crazy, and there's nothing else like it in the sport. I don't think matches at Wimbledon, matches at the French. There's nothing like a night match at the Open.
James, speaking of the night match with Agassi, that cliffhanger was a great match. Did you ever feel that in a match like that, even though you lost, that it was a winning experience, just in that you laid it all out there, and that you comported yourself well? I mean, can there be a winning in the losing?
Yeah, and I think Andre said it best that night was saying tennis was the winner. It's easier to say when you win, but no, he's a great champion too. So I know that we both did our best, and I think I remember someone was actually just talking to me about it a couple days ago when I was here in the locker room, saying how high the quality was. That I think the tiebreaker, it was almost all winners. There weren't unforced errors. It was both of us standing on the baseline, toe to toe, just getting after each other, and that's a fun match to be a part of. Obviously, I wish I'd won it, but there's got to be someone that goes down and doesn't quite get over the finish line, and that day Andre played better, but it was a great match. I'm happy to be a part of it. I wish I had won, but yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it a win, like I said, for tennis, but for me, it was a match that I played well and lost, and you hope you don't have too many of those in your career, but you can't be angry about it. You can't say I just didn't move my feet well, or I didn't execute my shots, or I didn't have a good game plan. I did everything I wanted to do, and I mean, things could have changed with 2 points at 6-all on the breaker. I hit a winner instead of him hitting a winner, or he makes one mistake and then he clipped the line with his second serve return on match point, and that's an inch further out, and we might still be out there. So it's just a match that could have gone either way, and he came up big that time.
Health-wise, how are you feeling?
I feel great. Don't worry about the ice on my shoulder. That's just preventative. I actually feel shoulder feels better than ever. My knee feels better than ever. So I'm actually feeling great. It's a really good feeling, and that's been exciting for me the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 weeks of the summer, where I've actually felt like I can move the way I used to, or the way I need to compete out here. I think I was kidding myself earlier in the year, thinking I was able to move at this level, and I really wasn't after the knee surgery, and I think I more wanted it to be okay than it really was okay. So now for it to really feel the way it does and feel like I can move and I can be effective with my legs, because without my legs I'm a pretty average to below average player out here. I need those to be strong. So the way it's feeling now, I feel like I'm ready to play, and I want to just keep playing.
This is the healthiest you've been since
08, 09. You know, my knee was giving me problems for a while, and I didn't bring it up a lot. I didn't want to talk about it because it was something that would nag at me, and then I could be okay for half a match, and then it starts getting worse, and then I know the next day is going to be terrible, and it just eventually got to a point where I couldn't even make it through a match, and it got worse and worse, and eventually the only option was surgery. So it was a while that I kind of battled with that, and now it feels good.
James, as a kid, you were a kid who struggled with braces and weren't exactly a junior phenomenon. Then went on to the tour, lost your guiding light, and then went on to some great wins, some great losses. We never get it right in terms of the big picture and the big story. But could you just take a minute, possibly, and just reflect on your own career and your takeaway points?
Sure. Well, I never had braces, actually. I was lucky enough my teeth were okay, but I had a back brace. That's what I kind of wish I had braces instead of the back brace. But, yeah, I mean, as a kid, I came here and watched, and I honestly never believed I'd be good enough to be out here playing. And to be doing what I'm doing is really incredible. And I haven't taken too many moments to just step back and reflect on that. I did that whole year when I was in the process of writing a book, and thinking about my father, thinking about breaking my neck, thinking about shingles and how painful that was. But now I'm just so excited to be back playing and being healthy. It's a good feeling, but I know when I'm done. You know, Brian Barker and I have talked about, like, we need to sit down once this is all said and done, have a couple beers, and just talk about everything we went through, because there's so many stories. And you know, he'll bring up a story once in a while that I've forgotten and bring a smile to my face or a frown to my face, and it's just, you know, I can't believe that I've been out here this long and had so many great experiences, so many tough experiences, and just it's a thrill, and it seems like it's gone by in a blur. And you know, I don't know how many times I've been in this room, but you know, I never thought I'd be doing anything like this, doing a press conference where people actually care what I think. It's still a little weird to me, and I still really love it. And that's what showed me what I learned this summer, was that when I wasn't playing my best, when I wasn't able to move, it wasn't that much fun. But as soon as it clicked in that I was able to move, I love this. I love playing. I love competing, and I want to keep doing it. So I'll hopefully have a whole another year, maybe even longer, to make more memories.
You said at one point, you said actually losing your father incredibly was the best thing that ever happened to you. What did you
No. I said breaking my neck was the best thing that ever happened to me. I would never say that losing my father was. It was breaking my neck was the best thing that happened to me that year, because it gave me a chance to go home and see my father. I was there for 6 weeks, the last 6 weeks of his life, and I know my dad was so proud that if I hadn't been hurt, he would have told me, you know, get ready to play the French, stay over there, I'll be fine. I could almost guarantee those words would have come out of his mouth, that I'll be fine, I'll be okay, even though I'm sure he knew things weren't going well at that time. So hurting myself that day, you know, lying on the clay, it felt terrible, and you never know, you know, when something happens, if it's something that's positive or negative. And that was a positive in my life. It got me to go home and see my dad and just sit and talk to him sometimes and just be around him. And you know, not that many people get the opportunity to say the things that they want to say towards the end of someone's life, and he got to say the things he wanted to say, I think, and I got to say the things I wanted to say. And you know, I would never say that losing him was the best thing. Losing him is probably the toughest thing I've ever had to deal with, and I wish I didn't have to go through that. I would never wish it on my worst enemy to have to go through losing their parent too early. And now that I am a parent, I can't imagine it. I want to be there for everything that my daughter goes through, and you know, I hope I'm there to see her grow up, you know, go through all the trials and tribulations of high school and college and marriage and all that fun stuff. And I can't wait. But it was real tough to see my dad getting sicker and getting weaker.
Are you to the point in your career where you're starting to get old jokes from your peers?
I've been that way for a while. The thing is, I knew I was going to get them, because when I was a kid, starting out on here, I dished them out. So I knew they would come back to haunt me. I remember I used to make fun of Todd Martin was one of my key guys that I would get, and I made fun of him for taking so long to warm up, for his gray hair, for all that kind of stuff, for just in general being old. And he said, just wait, you will be too. And now I'm getting it from everyone, you know, and I deserve it, because if I dish it out, I got to be able to take it. So I'm getting the old jokes, I'm getting the grandpa jokes, and I'm okay with that.
And along those lines, do you have any theories on better as a parent